From the mouth of the West Fork, dredge tailings stretch upstream and downstream on the Yankee Fork as far as the eye can see. These tailings restrict the natural processes of the river, including those processes that create fish habitat. This primarily occurs because the tailings and dredged river now function like a flume, flushing through large wood and small gravels that, if they were retained, would create fish cover and spawning beds. Over 70 years has passed since dredging, and natural recovery is still decades or centuries away. The focus of the West Fork Phase 2 project was to rebuild habitat on the Yankee Fork and Lower West Fork. This included routing the water into the Yankee Fork channel that was built during 2015, creating spawning, rearing, and wintering fish habitat in two split channels, and creating a side channel and floodplain within the footprint of the flume-like channel created by the dredge. After water was routed into the channel created the previous year, fish were captured and moved. We weren't the only ones removing fish. We were, however, the only ones that released fish alive back into the stream. A logjam structure was constructed that ensures that the Yankee Fork remains routed into the new Yankee Fork channel constructed during 2015. It also provides controlled inflow to the new side channel along with complex overhead cover for juvenile and adult salmonids. Dredge tailings were removed to form a floodplain. Floodplains help rivers function by spreading high flows, thereby decreasing in-channel water velocities. Floodplains also decrease sediment load as transported sediment falls out on the floodplain. This sediment aids in riparian plant growth. Split channels containing pools with woody debris cover and riffles with spawning substrate were constructed and water was introduced. Construction within the flume-like channel revealed another reason habitat was unable to be formed by natural processes. The stream bed was highly armored. Soil encountered during the channel excavation was stockpiled and spread on newly created floodplain to enhance floodplain vegetation growth. Riparian and upland woody vegetation was planted, and the entire disturbed area was seeded with native grass seed.
Prior to the project being implemented, the river had almost no habitat for fish. There were no pools, there was no wood for cover, and there was no spawning areas to speak of.
After we constructed Phase 2 of the project, it added 22 pools, almost 5 acres of floodplain areas for the river to spread out on during the high spring flows, and we added hundreds of pieces of wood in various forms for fish habitat and fish cover. What's really exciting is that as soon as we were done constructing the project, fish moved into the area. We had adult Chinook spawning within the project area, and when the fish come back and start utilizing that habitat right away, you know you did something right.
The habitat created during this project will likely change over time, as it does in all rivers. At least like it does in all rivers where natural processes are possible. And ultimately, these processes will create the best kind of habitat.